AI and automation is booming right now, so you can build systems that automate lead generation, especially for startups. You can make tens of thousands of dollars every month. I know this because I do it every single day at my own agency, my own process. In this video, I'll show you how to build a sales system that reaches out automatically to fast-growing AI startups with highly personalized messaging that feels one-on-one. And the beauty of the system is once it's set up, you can use it for your own outreach, and you can also sell it to others. In case you're first time watching, my name is Saad, and I've scaled my sales agency from $0 all the way to $80,000 a month by building and selling sales systems purely built in no-code tools like Make.com. I also consult with over 700 agencies on a monthly basis. And the goal of this channel is to teach you how to build and sell high ROI systems that actually make money and are worth from $2,000 all the way to $10,000. You do not need any business or coding experience. Just follow along and you'll be good to go. Does that sound good to you? If the answer is yes, then here's how we're going to do this. First, we're going to scope the project together. I'm going to show you all the platforms that you're going to need. And then we're going to build a step-by-step together, you and me. And at the end, I'm going to leave you the free blueprints and description. So without further ado, just go ahead and get started. Okay, we're going to be targeting growing AI startups in the US and UK. The headcount is going to be from 1 to 10. And then the platform where we're going to get data from is going to be Crunchbase. So manually, lead generation, as you guys know, is a time-consuming process. You would need to scrape data from platforms like Crunchbase or LinkedIn or Apollo, then upload it to an email enrichment tool, and then finally create personalized messages for each lead. Now, this takes time. Imagine you're working with 5,000 leads. So the possibility of you writing a personalized message to each of these 5,000 leads is virtually not existent, okay? So how does this system actually solve it? So the system completely automates the entire process, right? So it eliminates the need for you to manually scrape data and enrich leads. I'm going to explain to you how. So you would only insert the search URL, right, of the data in platforms like Crunchbase in a Google Sheets, and I'm going to show you how. And then Google Sheets is going to go ahead and track if there are new search Crunchbase URLs. Then we'll take that search URL and the session cookie to scrape Crunchbase using a platform called Apify. And the data gets sent to another Make.com scenario where we retrieve the leads details, search for their email address, and then generate a high quality one-on-one message. Okay. And then finally, the message and leads info are going to be added to our cold email software, which is going to be instantly where we can just go ahead and launch our outreach campaign with just one click. Okay. So let me walk you through how the system is going to be. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Crunchbase and we're going to start to build in our lead list. Okay. So I'm just going to go to Crunchbase. And the way I was able to get into this dashboard is I just went ahead and signed up and I just clicked on a free trial, which is going to be the pro plan, right? So if I go back to my dashboard or maybe account settings, yes. So I'm just using a free trial account, which they give you 7 days, okay? So I'm going to go back to my Crunchbase dashboard. And what you have to do is you're going to go and toggle into this dashboard. I believe it's dashboard. No, it's advanced search. So advanced search. And you're going to go and click on companies. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and click on overview. And then I'm going to start building my list. So in terms of number of employees, I'm just going to use 1 to 10. And then headquarters is already located for me. So United Kingdom and United States. Awesome. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to industry and I'm just going to choose artificial intelligence, which is AI. Okay, artificial intelligence. There you go. And I'm at 9,926 results. Okay, now that's a bit too much. I only want like 3K. So I'm going to go to company status. I want it to be for profit. Okay. And in terms of deals, I'm just going to, financials. I'm just going to choose Series A and Seed. Okay. And I can also use Series B. So I'm at 1,700 results. Okay, that's awesome. I can essentially, maybe I should up the, I'll up the lead list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the Series B and I'm just going to use, okay, that's good. Pre-seed, seed, and Series A. Okay, so these are all companies that are actually growing now. So growth category is growing. And they're all in the AI industry, right? Now, I got a bunch of things. I got the contact email, the website description, funding status, last funding date, and also the total funding amount, which I'm going to use to have a highly personalized message using all of this data. And I have also the founder, which is great. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, how can I actually scrape this data? So now that I have this lead list, I'm going to go ahead, and step 2 is going to basically be go to sheets.new. So sheets.new is basically how you create a new Google Sheet. So I'm going to basically start building the system. So the first step is building the list. Second step is going to be basically having a Google Sheet where we can store the search URL. And the search URL is basically going to be this right here. So this is the search URL of your Crunchbase data. Okay. So I'm going to go to this column right here. I'm just going to name this search URL. Okay. And this is going to be session cookie. And I'm going to explain to you what session cookie is after session cookie. And then let's just name this date. Okay. And then we're going to have another column, which is going to be status. Okay. Because we're going to do something cool. So I'm just going to make this a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. And then in terms of color is going to be white. And obviously we're going to be using Enter because Enter is just the best. Okay, bolden this up. Now, the only thing I have to do now is basically go to my advanced search, and I'm just going to copy this, right? And then the only thing you have to do is just paste in your search. Okay, so I have my search right here. Okay, so now since I have my Google Sheets, I'm just going to have to name this, and I'm going to name this Crunchbase Sales System URLs. Okay. Okay. The next thing now, I'm going to go to make.com. And then once you sign up to Make, you're going to have to go and create a new scenario. Okay. And then I'm going to look for Google Sheets, which is right in front of me. And then the one I want is going to be search rows. Okay. So search rows. And then spreadsheet ID. I'm just going to copy the name of my Google Sheets. And it's going to be Crunchbase Sales Systems URL, okay? In terms of sheet name, it's going to be sheet 1 because if I go back, it's going to be sheet 1, right? And then the next thing is going to be limit. So limit is going to be 1, okay? Because I just want to retrieve 1. And then click save. If I run once, I'm going to have basically the search URL where I can map it. Okay, sweet. Now, the second thing I'm going to do is basically I'm going to scrape this data using a platform called Apify, right? So I'm just going to go to Apify, right? So once you sign up to your account, right? Apify is a gold mine of scrapers where you can basically find scrapers that scrape Instagram, Google Maps, TikTok, Facebook, etc. And the one that I want is going to be Crunchbase because we're scraping Crunchbase. So Ultimate Crunchbase Scraper, right? And then it's at $30 per month, but in my opinion, it's for the data you're gonna get is absolutely and it's extremely cheap, right? So it's like basically peanuts. So what I'm gonna do now is this is the scrapers UI. So manually, you would have to put the search URL just like I show you guys all the time in this channel, and then you just have to put 200 and then choose all the parameters and then click start, which is pretty like it doesn't take a lot of calories to do this, right? But we're going to do this automatically. So the only thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to show you first. I'm going to go to copy this URL, right? And then you have to paste it here, right? And then in terms of your session cookie, now you're going to go to advanced search. You're going to download edit this cookie, right? And you're just going to have to extract your cookie, copy it, okay? And then all you have to do now is basically paste in the session cookie and the session cookie field. Boom. And let me just make this a little bit better. I'm going to go to resize rows, specify row height, and click OK. Okay, so I have now my session cookie. And then in terms of dates, I'm just going to put today's dates because we want to track the URLs, right? So it's March 2nd, 2025, right? And then now we're going to leave status empty, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to connect Apify to make.com. So I'm just going to go to this plus button right here. I'm going to look for Apify, which is this one right here. And then the one that I want is going to be run an actor. Okay. I'm going to click on add. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my scraper here and I'm going to go to settings, right? And then you're going to go to API integration. You're just going to copy your API key, right? Copy and then go back. And then let's name this Crunchbase sales system. And then your API token is going to be the token that we just copied now. Click save. Okay. Now you're going to have to click on actors, and you're going to have basically the name of the actor, which is Ultimate Crunchbase Scraper. And then in terms of input JSON, here's what you have to do. You're going to have to copy the JSON that's in the scraper, right? So if I go back to account and I go to store and I look for my Crunchbase, it's going to be Ultimate Crunchbase Scraper. This is the JSON basically. If I click on JSON here, this is the JSON of how the scraper works. Okay. So all I have to do now is let me just go back to manual and let me remove this. Okay. And I go back to JSON, it's empty now. Okay. So now if I paste in basically my session cookie here, right? If I go back to manual and I copy my session cookie and I put it right here, if I go back to JSON, it's going to be auto-populated, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy this JSON, and then I'm going to have to paste it in make. But if I paste it just like this in make, we're going to have this like cluttered string. So all I have to do is I'm going to go to JSON formatter, and then I'm going to paste in my JSON, copy it, and now if I paste it, it's all more aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so now if you guys noticed here, search URL, we're just going to have to remove this, right? And then put the search URL that we have. We're just going to map it, okay? The session cookie is this long string. So now I can just unlink this and just get that session cookie and map it. So run once. And then I have the session cookie, right? So I can just map it. So let me just link this again. In terms of the cookie, is going to be cookie. So it's going to be all this, right? So we're going to have to remove all of this. And I believe it's going to end in, it's in ID, right? Yes. So in ID. And then cookie is going to be session cookie. So proxy is going to be residential. In terms of count, this is the total numbers of records you want to actually scrape. So just because I only want to test the system first, and then we can, up this to basically whatever you want. So I'm just going to click on save, right? And then this is going to run. And then this actual, once it's going to run, basically we're going to have to retrieve that data, right? So we're going to save this. And this flow is going to be get search, get, sorry, get Crunchbase, search URL, and then run actor. Okay, so I'm just going to save this, and then I'm going to go to scenarios. I'm going to create a new scenario, okay? So create new scenario, and then now we're going to look for another module, which is going to be an Apify, which is going to be watch actor runs. So this is going to basically wait until the scraper finishes scraping, right? And then basically it's going to get that data from that scraper, and so we can do something with it, right? So I'm just going to click on add, and again, I'm going to click on this one right here, which is going to be Crunchbase sales system, and then my finished actor webhook, Crunchbase. Okay, actor is going to be always Crunchbase, Ultimate Crunchbase Scraper, and click save. Great, and click save. The next thing we want to need, so the next thing is going to be click on this plus button, look for Apify. It's going to be get data set item. So we're going to get that data. Okay. And then again, we're going to have to re-authenticate. So Crunchbase sales system, and the data set ID is going to be default data set ID. Okay. In terms of limits, I'm just going to leave this empty for now and click save. Okay. So I'm going to save this. And then the next thing I'm going to have to do is basically go back to my initial system. So I want to update, right? And basically make sure I have like a status. So if you guys notice here, we have a status, right? We can just add a status that says, for example, actor is scraping, so we can know, right? Let's go back to our first system, and then I'm going to click on this plus button, and it's going to be sheets. And we're going to add update a row. Okay. And then the spreadsheet ID is going to be the spreadsheet ID that we have already. So it's going to be Crunchbase So Crunchbase, let me just rename this Crunchbase, cell system. And then the row number is going to be, oh, first of all, the sheet name is going to be sheet 1. And then the row number is going to be row number, which is 2. And the status is going to be, let's name this scraping started. Okay, click save. Awesome. So now if I run this, basically the scraper is going to start scraping all the data of that search URL. So let me just run once. And then we have an error. So it looks like there's an error with the Apify. Oh yeah, I think there's something here. Let me just let me go back to my JSON formatter and then copy this. And then let's just do it again. Okay, so the search URL is search URL. Okay. And then I believe there's an issue with this. So let me just check this. So session cookie ends at what? Okay, it ends at this right bracket. So the right bracket is going to be here, right? So this is the one. I believe we had an issue with, oh yeah, I think I know why. I need to add one. Yeah. And then now? Yeah, okay, great. So now if I go back to my Google Sheets, it's going to be scraping started, okay? Now, if I go back to my advanced, the run is actually running. So it's all done automatically through their API, okay? So now we're just going to wait because I did not want to use, I did not want to put 3,000 leads just to test, just because we want to test on a small batch of leads. Then we can basically add the 3K results that we have, right? Always test on a smaller batch. So, and also it's going to take like 20 minutes and I don't want this video to be 3 hours long. So we're just going to wait for now. And then it's not going to take that much. It's probably going to take probably 5 minutes. So still working. Please wait a minute. Okay, we're going to wait. And then the output is going to be the results. And then here, as you guys can see, I'm going to go back to my second scenario and I'm going to click on immediately add data. Arrives, click save. This module is going to start running once the scraper is finished. So it's going to watch actual runs and then it's going to get the dataset items, okay? So let me auto align this, save again, and then let's go back to our scraper and then let's see. Okay, so it's finished. Now it's going to send it to the second system. So we're watching. And I believe already ran. Yeah, so success. Okay, so success. So there you go. It was successful. Okay, great. So I have all this 200 bundles, as you guys can see. So there's 200 bundles because we scraped 200 bundles. Great. So now I'm going to go to diagram, right? And then since I already have that data here, I'm just going to unlink this. And then I'm just going to put this right here. And then the only thing I have to do is just hard code the dataset ID so I can get access to it, right? No, at the end, the system is going to run automatically, but now we're just going to hard code it so we can retrieve the data and then basically build the backbone from the backend. And then the system is just going to basically run seamlessly afterwards. So I'm going to go to my run and I'm just going to go to stores so I can retrieve it, because if you want to retrieve the dataset ID again, you're going to have to rerun it again, right? So I hope this makes sense. So I'm going to put the dataset ID here. In terms of limits, I'm just going to use one so I can just work on one record. Okay, so I have this here. So PipeShift, right? So PipeShift is the company name that I have here, which is PipeShift, which is sweet. So now I'm going to start personalizing. So in terms of the data that I have the company name, I have the founder identifiers, etc., etc. So now, since I have the founder name and I have their website, I can essentially, so if I go back to website, I have the website, I need to find their email addresses. So the platform I'm going to be using is going to be Scrape or Scrap, I don't know. So Scrape. So it's an email finder, right? So you can use any email finder. You can use any email finder. You can use Find the Email. You can use Prospeo, a bunch of email finders that I showed you in this channel. So I'm going to click on Get Started or Started for free. I'm going to have to sign up with Google, way better. And then I'm going to go to my account right here. I'm just going to sign up with this account and continue. Okay, continue. Thank you, scrape. And then they're going to give you this onboarding, and then they give you like 100 email searches, which is pretty good. And then I'm going to go to API documentation, and I'm going to show you guys how to basically use their API, because if I click on this plus button and I look for scrape, there's no native module, right? So what we're going to do is we can connect their API, which is pretty easy, right? I'm going to go back to my documentation here. And then the one that I want is going to be email finder. Okay. So it's going to be a curl request to a, I believe it's a get. Yeah. So it's a get request. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to my second scenario. I'm going to look for HTTP. It's going to be make a request. Okay. Now the URL is going to be the URL that I have here. Okay. And I'm going to have to paste that in here. And if you guys notice, we have first name equals John, last name Doe, and the domain. So we're going to have to feed in the first name, last name, and the domain name. Okay. In terms of headers, we're going to have to go here, and it's going to be access key. So this is the headers to authenticate name. And it's going to be the API key, which is going to be our API key here. Copy, and then paste this here. Okay. Close these tabs, and then go back to header. And I believe we have another one, which is, content type application JSON. So content type application JSON, Control C, and then just put this here, and then copy this one right here, and then paste it here. Okay. So now we're going to have to get the first name and last name. Now we can use a split formula, but I just want to have that. I just want to have the first name, last name, so I can just map it correctly. Click save. And then before that, I'm going to add a set variable or set multiple variables. Okay. And the first one is going to be first name. And then I'm going to look for founder. And it's going to be this one, and I'm going to use a formula now. So split founder based off a space. And I'm going to get the first one. Okay. Now I'm going to click on add item again. And it's going to be last name. And now we're going to get the second one. Okay. 2. And then click save. And now let me just unlink this and click on run once. Okay. So I have first name Arco, last name, whatever his last name is. So I'm just going to link this. And then now the only thing I have to do is basically map into first name and last name. So John, which is going to be first name. And then last name is going to be last name. And I'm going to map in the domain, which is domain is going to be websites value. Okay. And I'm going to click on save. And we forgot to actually toggle this parse response. Click save. Now let's just try let's see if the email is valid. Okay. So we have a status code 200. That was quick. Data, Arco shift, quality, invalid. So the cool part of this API, right, this scrape, they also validate the email. So if the email is not valid, so they find the email, they try to validate it. And if it's not valid, then we're not going to use it. So great. So this is an invalid email. Okay. Status equals invalid. So let's try into the second result. So I'm going to offset by 1, meaning I'm going to skip the first one and retrieve the second. Let's see if the second one is valid. So valid. Okay, valid is a valid email address. Great. So now, third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a filter here. But before I actually do that, I'm going to use Claude now. So now, since we validate that the email exists and it's valid, we're going to use entropic clause. So create a prompt. And then I'm going to use Senet, not HiQ, Senet, and then max tokens 3060, or let's just use 3090, add messages, user, and content. Okay, it's going to be text. Now I'm going to go to my 7-figure prompt. These are all prompts that we have in our community. So let's go back. Which one do I want? It's probably going to be this one. Yeah. So B. I think this is the one that I want. Yeah. I'm going to copy. So I'm just going to read a highly personalized personalization. You guys will see this is like really high level. Like there's no one actually on YouTube that teaches this, not to toot my own horn. But okay, so I'm just going to write some JSON. It's going to be first name. You do not need to be a coder, by the way. It's just some JSON. Just copy what I do. And first name. And then I'm just going to feed in so I'm just going to feed in the company type, or maybe, the company name. Okay, so the company name. Which is going to be, I believe it's name, yeah. Again, we're going to feed in description, which is going to be short description. And then I'm going to feed in last funding at. So last funding at. And it's going to be last funding at. And then last funding total. Yeah, this is good. Last funding total. And it's going to be value, which is going to be the value. And what can we add? Last funding stage. Yeah, last funding type, which is going to be seed. Okay. And what are we going to add? So category. So this is okay. So category. And what can we add? I believe that's pretty much it. Yeah. Okay. So let's just close this out. And then in terms of, I believe that's pretty much it. I'm going to click on save. Great. So now, since I clicked on save, I'm going to click on run once. Oh, before I actually do that, I need to add a filter. So only set up a filter. Condition, we're going to have quality status. So status equal to valid. And another rule. And email. So email does exist. So exists. So we're going to name this email found and exists and valid. And click save. And then now let's just run once. Okay, so let's just read this. Hey, Jonathan, Saul Baller Mixed Reality Seed Round. Congrats on the 33 million raise. Perfect timing with XR adoption really taking off in sports entertainment. Would love to compare notes in building sales systems that connect with those premium entertainment partners. Seems like we're both playing in that high-touch enterprise space. Wow. Yeah, this is really good. But I see something that I don't like, which is Saul Baller Mixed Realities. I need to basically clean the company name. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to clean the company name, and then the one that I want is gonna be basically. I'm just gonna use Gemini for this because I don't like how basically we have this result here. The personalization is amazing, but Saul Bowler's Mixed Reality. It's a long name. Like nobody talks like that. And you guys know me. We want to make sure the personalization is spot on and amazing and feels like 101. So I'm just going to use Gemini 1.5, which is an AI model. You can use any AI model, OpenAI, Claude, etc. And then the one that I want is going to be in 7-figure prompts again. And then it's going to be 7-figure prompt, company name formatter, company. And paste this here. So the company name is going to be the name, and then the domain is going to be the domain, which is going to be website. Okay, so domain is going to be website. And then in terms of the person's bio, we're going to change this and the company description. It's better. Description. And then I'm just going to map the company short description and click save. And then now I'm going to have to add my filter right here because this is the one that I want. Status equals to valid and email exists. Okay, click save. And then let's just remove this filter from here. to avoid duplicate, save. And I'm just going to save, auto align this. And then now we're going to feed in the company name, which is going to be the results of Gemini. So name is going to be the results here, results. And then click save, save again, and then run once. Okay, great. And now, hey Jonathan, congrats on the 3 million raise for Baller. Okay, great. The timing feels spot on with XR finally hitting its stride in live events. Been seeing how fan engagement tokens are reshaping the whole sports and experience landscape. Would love to compare notes sometime. Thank you. Now, the next thing I'm going to have to do is basically generate my dream email. I'm going to go to tools and set variable. I'm going to name this dream email. And the next thing I'm going to have to do is go back to my drawing right here. And then I have a copy here that I'm going to dissect. So for example, here's our dream email. So, hey, Michael, congrats on building Final Round AI. Love how you're transforming the interview prep space at a time when AI is completely reshaping how people land jobs. Your platform is exactly what candidates need right now. Looking forward to watch your growth in 2025. So this is extremely high personalized one-on-one message. And this is our clear value proposition plus our clear offer, which is basically transition into another case study. So reaching out because I believe we can help hypothetical company, which is going to be the company name that we're going to reach out to, connect with more ideal clients using AI outbound systems that actually work. Okay. Just like we did with Vention, where we directly added 85K in about 12 weeks. So great. And then we can do this at infinite scale, engaging thousands of your best fit prospects with thoughtful messaging that feels one-on-one, filling your calendar with high-intent sales calls. So this transition into a slight how while staying outcome focused. So whenever you are building these sales systems and you basically are building an offer for your clients or building your copy, transition into a slight how, so just a little overview on a how, and then stay outcome focused because people only care about what we can do to them, right? Would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if this sounds interesting and I can share more details. So this is soft CTA. Copy this right now. Copy. And I'm going to go back and then I'm going to paste this here. And then it's going to be the personalized line here, which is going to be, hey, Jonathan. And then now I'm just going to paste in my second value prop. Let me close this, go back to my draw. And then we can do this at infinite scale. And then again, would love to hear your thoughts. Paste this here, sod. Okay. We can help. So we can help. Hypothetical company is going to be company name. Okay. Hypothetical. So results. Okay. Great. Save. And then let's just run once. Okay. Great. So, hey, Jonathan, notice Baller's seed round plus your work with XRTS, smart timing, especially as sports tech, explore deeper fan engagement models. Love to compare notes on how you're thinking about scaling those premium experiences. Great. So let me just add one line here and then click on save. So beautiful. So now I have to add this to our final step, which is going to be instantly. So I'm going to look for instantly, add leads to a campaign, and I'm going to go to my instantly, and then I'm just going to click on login, and they keep changing the UI here. I'm going to go to login here, and the way you're going to set up your connection is going to go to settings, and then you're going to have to go to integration, API keys, and you're going to choose the version 1 depreciating. You're just going to copy this, go back, and then click on add. You're just going to paste in your API key, right? Now, and you're going to click on save. Now I already have it. So now I'm just going to go to my campaigns, and I'm going to name this Crunchbase. And I'm going to click on continue, okay? So the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to second flow, and I'm going to refresh this. I'm going to have access to it. Crunchbase. So the leads email is going to be the email here. First name is first name, which is great. We already have it. Last name. Company name is going to be this company name. Personalization is going to be the copy that we have here, which is dream email. And what do we have again? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, click save. And then auto align this. And then let's just run this at 5. So the first one is going to be added. Second one, great. Okay, so we added 5 leads, which is amazing. Now let's just read through this. Hey, Joe. Congrats on the Series A with Crew. The timing couldn't be better with enterprise AI adoption exploding right now. Been following your work in multi-agent automation and love how you're making complex task orchestration more accessible for companies. Okay, let's read the 4th one. Hey, Caitlin. Congrats on the 40 million seed round for Phase Shift. Love seeing new solution in the AR space where automation is desperately needed. Having built sales systems for fintech startups, I've seen firsthand how critical smooth AR processes are for scaling. Looking forward to watching your growth. I mean, hey, Michael. Congrats on the 6.8 million seeds for final round. Brilliant timing with AI interview and prep becoming crucial for candidates. Been hearing great things about how you're reshaping the hiring preparation space. Looking forward to seeing your continued growth. And then if I go back to my instantly, I'm going to go back to sequences, leads. I have successfully added my 5 leads. And then it's going to be personalization. And then preview. We have everything that we need here. Great. I'm just going to add my signature. Sent from iPhone. If you know, you know. And then preview. Okay, great. So in terms of subject, I'm just going to add first name. I'm just going to use Maya process. Or let's just name this company name. So Jonathan Baller, which is good. People love to look at their name and look at their company name. So I think that's going to catch their attention. Okay, so now that we validated the system work, the only thing that we're going to have to do is add another flow right here, the second flow. So we're going to have to update this. So it's going to be a row. So search rows, it's going to be Google Sheets. It's going to be update a row. So now we're going to basically update a row to something like scrape and finished or leads added successfully. Okay, it's kind of like an app. So spreadsheet ID is going to be Crunchbase folder. And then sheet name is going to be sheet 1. And the row number, if you guys notice, if you go back, it's going to be row number is going to be 2. Okay, so 2. And then we're going to name this status scraping finished successfully. Okay, click save. So auto align this, and then now I'm gonna have to put this back and link this, and then I'm gonna have to put now the default dataset ID, the real one. So default dataset ID, click save, and I'm gonna have to click save again. And then in terms of limits, I'm just gonna have to leave this empty and click save. Actually, we're gonna have to remove the offsets, click save, and save this. And then this one is going to be get results from Apify, enrich, and add to instantly. Okay, great. Save this. And then now, what are we going to have to do? So let me go back to my Crunchbase. So I have everything I need. So essentially, we're going to have to go to the first one, and it's going to be search URLs. And then we're going to have to basically run this scenario at regular intervals. So let's say, for example, let's say you are building this for yourself to reach more clients. So you're going to have to basically just put the URL, and let's say every 6 hours, right? So you would scrape, you just put so every 6 hours, you just go to advanced search and you just prepare a lead list, and the only thing you have to do is just paste in your search URL, and then you're going to have to basically update your session cookie. So every 6 hours, you're going to have to update your session cookie by just going back again to edit this cookie and just basically copying or edit this cookie. And then the system is going to run basically every a few hours, right? For example, so at regular intervals, so let's say 120 minutes, right? Every 2 hours is going to run, activate scenario, and it's going to check if there are new ones. Okay, so now, so search URLs, etc., and then we're gonna have to add another filter here. So we're gonna only run this if the status equal or does not equal. So does not equal, case insensitive to the one that we have here, because the end result is going to be what? Scrape and finish successfully, okay? So copy, and then go back, not equal to, okay? So it's only going to run this to avoid duplicates, okay? So auto align this, run scraper, and then the Google Sheets is going to be status equal scraping. Okay. Then the second flow is going to be get watch scraper, get data, format, get full name, validate email, no, find email and validate. And then this is going to be clean company name. And this is going to be 101 message, AI 101 message. And then this is going to be, dream email, generate. I believe this video is going to go viral, guys. And then add to instantly. And then it's going to be status equals success. Okay, great. Save this. And then I'm going to go back to my first flow. And then now, in terms of count, probably we need to add another one here. So we're going to name this total numbers, total records. Okay. And then I'm just going to use the white color here. Great. Now, basically, I can just put, for example, 5,000, 1,000, etc., etc. I can essentially just, before I actually do that, I need to run once, run this module only, so I can retrieve the 1,000 record, right? And I'm going to have to put the count, which is going to be count right here, and click save. So now, the only thing I have to do, guys, is just click on run once, and the system is going to run automatically. Okay, so hopefully you found this video valuable. I'm going to leave all the resources, including the copy, the blueprints, and everything that you need in the description down below. Check out Sales Mastery if you want to get your first customer in just a few weeks. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.